Actually, it's sometimes shit happens and you just have to deal with it.
Oh.
Jeez, how many mottos do you have?
Or is it?
Police?
Yeah.
It's your quota. It's like sauces at a kebab shop. You get 2. After that, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay extra.
That's my motto. Mottos are like sauces at a kebab shop. Oh, are we live? This shit's gold.
Okay, we're live now.
Oh, James! Can we have that conversation again?
My motto is...
Hello and welcome to Fangin Around. This is episode 16. Recording this on the 18th of June 2012. I am your co-host, James, and I'm joined by...
Fred.
Harry.
Campbell.
How you guys going?
Yeah.
You made it?
Made it.
Eventually?
Yeah, I was a bit late.
I was late too.
Well, at least you warned us.
I was late, but I was the first one here, so...
So
Sorry, that doesn't make me late. Makes you guys late.
What have you guys been consuming?
I've been reading a manga series called The Drifting Classroom.
Giving you nightmares, I hear.
Gave me fucking terrifying nightmares. So I heard about this thing and The Drifting Classroom. I think it's from the 70s maybe, so it's a little bit the vintage. And I thought it had some similarities to the graphic novel that I'm working on, so I thought I'd check it out and see what they're doing. Theirs is decidedly more horror-themed than my story. It's about a schoolboy who goes to school one day, and then as soon as the morning bell rings, it's set in Japan, as soon as the morning bell rings, there's this like massive earthquake, and then when the kids sort of climb out from under their desks and look out the windows, their whole school has just been like transposed into this desert wasteland. And as far as they can see, there's just desert outside the school boundaries. And the kids start flipping the shit out, and the teachers freak out, and yeah, it's pretty scary. Yeah.
Is this going to influence your work where you're dealing with kids?
It's going to get a bit dark.
No. It's just it's good because my story is about kids finding themselves in a strange land as well, but I don't want it to be like a horror thing that gives people nightmares. So it's good to see what I don't want to cover, what terrain I don't want to cover. But this thing's good, Drifting Classroom. It's good. It's that weird sort of very freaky stuff. So maybe check it out if you want. It's kind of cool.
So I realise it's not good to talk about stuff before it's released, but the book you're working on, are you targeting it at kids or are you targeting at people who are trying to reminisce with their childhood?
Oh, it's more young adult, I think.
Yeah, okay.
It's not for kids because there is some scary stuff, but just not as scary as The Drifting Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of Harry Potter to Drifting Classroom, this is sort of more on the Harry Potter side of things.
What have you been consuming? Huh?
Not a lot really. I just got a new computer today. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, in the mail? How long did it take you to get?
Ordered Tuesday, 6 days.
Oh, that's quite a while. But, that's right, you got custom RAM configured, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a custom RAM.
Yeah. And what did you get?
Did you specify less RAM?
What did you get?
I got a MacBook Air. Sexy. 8 gigs RAM with 250 megabytes flash memory.
Oh, wow. So is this
Oh.
your first personal computer since when? When did you get your last one?
Oh, it was a G4 PowerBook 12-inch. Would have been.
We're talking
G4.
like 2004, 2005.
I can't remember. Something like that. 2004. It would have been 2000.
But it's
2005.
over 5 years, you think?
It was, about 8 years.
Which is
almost.
a long time in
Going on for
computer
8
years.
years. No. What year is it? 2012. 7 years. It's a long time. I've been without a personal computer for...
What happened to your PowerBook's not working?
Oh, I basically just gave up on using it because it was too annoying.
Too slow.
Yeah. Didn't do the things I wanted it to do. Just didn't use it.
Okay.
It's been pretty depressing.
So I'm guessing you're experiencing macOS 10 Lime for the first time?
Yeah. Oh. I'm not sure I like it that much, actually.
Yeah. I downgraded back to Snow Leopard. I hated it that much.
Really? Yeah.
Worst Apple product in 10 years, I'd say.
What I do like is this flicky finger.
What about the Segway?
Different.
How you can, like, go to different things.
Back and forward in
Back
pages.
and forth. Yeah. That's awesome.
Fred's left his seat to go look.
Looks
Does it
exactly
have
the
a
same.
Does it have a touch screen?
It doesn't have a
No.
touchscreen.
Oh.
I was hoping for a touchscreen.
I guess then it'd be an iPad,
Or you
wouldn't
can
it?
go back and forwards.
What makes it bad?
But you can go like this, and you can go to your widgets.
Oh, no one ever uses
I'm using them all the time. I'm widgeting.
Yeah.
Doing so many widgets.
widgeting and world watching.
Maybe you don't use it because it's not as easy to access as it is.
Yeah, imagine if you could just swipe instead of pressing one button.
Yeah.
And if you want to open a new program, you just go like this. Oh, you can go to your dashboard. Or like this.
Exactly. The fact that it doesn't work first time, that tells you how crap it is.
Yeah. I think Steve's
Reds
let
up.
the team down here.
In the worst possible way, really.
Yeah, so I hope the new one that comes out is better, or else I might have to downgrade as well.
Yeah, that should be good. The actual beta running off a hard drive was faster for me than the actual Mount Lion running off an SSD directly on the computer. So
I've been thinking about just loading Windows 7. I was actually enjoying Windows 7 when I had it on my other work computer.
you can do that, but it's not optimized for Mac, so it uses
Shit.
up a lot of battery life, so you only get like an hour's battery life and stuff like that.
Alright, well, I'll keep with Mac then. Keep with Apple.
You're not going to go to Windows 8?
Oh, Win 8, I hear that's hard.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm jumping ship. I'm going back to Mac.
Oh, okay.
What about Longhorn?
Although I don't know if
That
I've
was
missed the
fucking
boat.
cool.
I don't know if like Windows is coming for its second,
Renaissance.
renaissance.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
Don't know if I've jumped on the sinking ship or the rat's gone the other
Yeah.
way. And
Oh, I think it's the other
I know
way.
someone
think-
who's a massive Apple fanboy, bought themselves a Samsung phone.
really,
Well, and now they're regretting it. I'm
No,
sure.
they like them.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just saying that because they're like, I can't believe I spent this amount of
big
money.
thing.
Yeah, I know. The giant thing they carry around their purse because they can't fit it in their pocket.
The
and-
lady man who don't use Apple
Yeah.
products.
no, I like Apple's phones.
No, if they were using Windows Phone 7, is it that? I would actually respect them more than using an Android device because that actually looks like it's going somewhere. While an Android just seems like a dead end at the moment.
Is Android a dead end? I thought Android was where everyone was heading. Because, man, it's like...
Only 7%.
You can hack it and...
Only 7% upgrade to
You
latest
can
version
load whatever
Android.
you want, man.
Yeah.
You don't need someone telling you it's okay.
Yeah, but how many people do that? Like 3% of the population.
Yeah, but
That's
man,
not enough. That's not
hackers'
enough to
rights.
make money.
Hackers' rights.
This guy bought it
If you
'cause he
can't
wanted
open it, you don't own it.
Yeah. Yeah, Harry, with your new MacBook, least configurable computer ever. Oh, maybe that's the
How
you can actually upgrade
how
the
many
storage
Apple
on the
products do we have in this room?
I can open heaps of stuff on
How many
there.
Apple computers do we have? We've got 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5,
You guys are so
6.
negative. Back
is like the
when
Apple
I was
bunker.
15, I turned up Perth more and I was ostracized for being the only Apple owner.
It's because they
Oh,
were
the
shit.
You know what this is,
No,
James?
they were awesome always.
It's the world's smallest violin playing your
No.
song. Sorry, it's the world's smallest iPod playing your song. It's
playing a violin.
an Apple
computer.
startup song just for you.
Yeah, all right.
Dun.
Fred, what have you been consuming?
A lot of Saints Row the Third. Great game. Great game.
That's right.
Great game.
Well, we're going to talk about this more later in the question
Yeah, I got my
of the week,
question,
but
question of the week about
Oh,
Ooh, I don't know. I've never
Why
played
has
Saints Row, so-
why has Saints Row hit the spot for you over all the other games I've lent you?
that. Okay, so the first mission of GTA 4, you drive a crappy Toyota Camry to pick up some guy's girlfriend and then drop her off. It's
This-
boring. I don't care about character development. The first mission of Saints Row 3, you're skydiving through a cargo plane, shooting bad guys, and then landing on a tank or something. I don't know. So it's fun.
Less character development, more blowing shit up.
Yeah, I don't. If I wanted character development, I'd read a book.
It's Michael Bay's Transformers
Yeah.
of the open world game.
They made a game, and they thought, what could we do that's fun? And then they did it. Not what's going to help the character. Just fun. Just made it fun, and that's all I want in a game. I'm a simple guy. Just wants to shoot helicopters with other helicopters.
did you ever see Die Hard 4?
No.
Because they shot a helicopter with a car in there.
Oh, that was sick.
Oh, you're shaking your head in shock. I
That's ludicrous.
But in
I
Saints
don't
Row
want-
where you're
yeah.
flying for a cargo plane.
Yeah, but it's a fantasy world. It's a.
Oh, and like Die Hard
No, it's totally real.
with real.
It's set in New York City. That's a real city, Campbell. Steelport isn't a real city. It's a fantasy world.
What, like the Mushroom Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas GTA, I guess GTA didn't, but just fun. They're not trying to constrain me.
Not like this world.
That's what gets me down. Okay. You know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, you just run in a line shooting people as they do.
This one, you
GTA,
jump out of a
you're
plane.
like doing like you go down to the shops to like buy some milk.
Yeah. In the third mission, Saints Row, right, you jump out of a helicopter to the tune of Kanye West Power and land in the top of a skyscraper penthouse and just slaughter like 1,000 people to the tune of this rockin' tune as you go.
That
So
sounds
awesome.
awesome.
There should be a hot
Yeah.
button you push, just plays power
Yeah.
when you just want to do something cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
All right.
Sounds cool.
It is cool. It's fun, Harry. It's fun.
It does sound fun. It does.
Well, the main thing I've been consuming, I was going to talk about in Fangin car news.
NASCAR.
No, way classier, man.
MotoGP?
Nope.
Barbagallo's Burnout Express.
No, the biggest motorsport event
I hear
in the
you're
world.
into motorcycle sidecar racing.
Donuts.
Yeah.
Who
Right
me?
up in it. Not him.
No, he's
Oh.
referencing a topic we discussed like last
okay.
week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Listeners back home that
Yeah.
are paying attention
Yeah. That
would have zinged all over that.
She got third place on the weekend. I saw her on a podium.
Cool.
Oh.
Congratulations.
I don't know what
mystery
event. I
lady
just
friend.
saw it was a picture of her.
Congratulations. I quite like this gherkin dip we're having.
Well, yeah,
won me over.
I saw that and I was like, oh, gherkin. I love gherkins. I wonder what the dip's like.
Well, it's nice.
It's got a lot of sugar in it.
Oh, they all have. They all
Yeah, but it's
totally
pickles.
unhealthy.
Pickles are just sugared.
Yeah, I suppose.
I rewatched Mickey Blue Eyes with Hugh Grant and Jeanne Triplehorn, who's pretty damn hot in that movie. But you guys haven't seen Big Love, so you don't appreciate Jeanne Triplehorn. You do. And
Big Love? What's Big Love?
I've been getting into Practical Jokers. You haven't seen Big Love?
What about Practical Magic with Nicole Kidman and Bette Midler?
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Midler.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, she's in that Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, that's it.
Alright.
Man, they
Isn't it-
should have done a mashup of those two films, crossover.
Virtually were the same.
Hocus Pocus had SJP, Bette Midler, and...
Wasn't it? Didn't one of them
It's
have
all a blur to me. Is it not the same film?
Miss Congeniality.
Sandra Bullock. No,
Sandra
that's
Bullock.
Practical Magic.
Ah, that's very much.
Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock are in Practical Magic. Hocus Pocus has Bette Midler, SJP, and...
Hocus Pocus is 1993. Practical Magic came out in 1998.
Oh, what? Really? I thought
Yeah,
they were like
5
the
years
same year.
apart. Yeah, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and
Kathy Najimy.
Kathy Najimy. Well, that's the first title. They also has Thora Birch, the girl who got naked in American Beauty, and Vanessa Shaw, the girl who got naked in Eyes Wide Shut. Or did she? Or maybe she was just the cute prostitute. I can't remember.
Triplehorn's an interesting name.
Triplehorn.
Yeah.
Jean Triplehorn.
Jean Triplehorn. That's a strange name.
It's a guy.
Oh, the girl who was in Mickey Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She's also in
Waterworld.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which brings us back to Jack Black.
Whoa. And that girl, you guys know.
I've downloaded. Have you guys got the new album? I pre-ordered and downloaded. I haven't listened to it yet.
What?
The new Tenacious D.
Oh, I thought you were saying the new release of Waterworld. High, ultra high.
I think I have actually bought the Blu-ray for that. I'm not sure. I haven't watched it yet.
Waterworld.
It's like the best movie of all time.
I saw it at the drive-ins. Can you believe that?
Wow.
How old are you?
So what?
Does
Practical
the
Magic has
drive-in
Sandra Bullock,
exist?
Nicole Kidman, and Stockard Channing, with support from Diane Wiest and Evan Rachel Wood.
Where was the drive-in?
Never you mind. Secret.
It's watching a movie on your iPod in
Down
your car.
south?
It's not a drive-in camera.
Yeah, down south.
Oh, okay.
That's where the drive-in's in.
They're a bit behind the times.
We've got some follow-up. You know, last week we were talking about Googling to see if Rita from Dexter had plastic surgery. I forgot to mention that the first thing that comes up in the auto suggest is I can't remember her name, who plays Rita, but you type in her name.
You punch in the actress's name.
The actress, and then it comes up, before plastic surgery, it comes up as feet.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
does she
feet
have-
fetishes?
Does she have attractive feet? Big feet?
You know what
No,
they say?
but you know,
feet,
Mbeth
big
DeWitt's comes up.
No.
You know what they say about ladies' feet?
What?
I don't know.
None of us do.
Any listeners at home, do you know what they say about ladies'
Mbeth
feet?
DeWitt's comes up with just this clip on YouTube.
Do you reckon you could
as
show
Mbeth
people a
DeWitt's
bunch of feet and there'd be a consensus as to what's hot and what's not?
Yeah, I reckon.
I reckon someone's done a study on that. That's
Now,
Because I'd just be like...
James, you know, you're saying, I saw you put that in the show notes about her feet. I don't know if you've seen, if any of you guys have seen this series of documentaries that they kind of sporadically show on ABC with a British presenter. Her name's Cherry, and she looks at a whole range of sort of social political issues affecting women primarily. She's really funny. But I did when Liz and I first saw a documentary with her, we were like, oh, who is this person? Because she's really funny, and let's see what else she's done. And I typed in her name, and the first thing that came up, this happened a while ago now. The first thing that came up was YouTube clips of Cherry. I can't remember her last name actually. Cherry so and so's sexy feet, and someone had scraped out all the video from all of her documentaries where she has like bare feet.
Oh wow, yeah.
And made a playlist on YouTube with
Is
it.
she the one who did the vaginal plastic surgery documentary? You know, getting your labia tucked in and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one.
According to the internet, one particular site...
This is wikifeet.com.
No, I'm on wikifeet.com. Yeah.
I was about to say that's what
No,
comes up when
I got-
you search for Julie Benz's feet.
I
The
got
first search is wikifeet.com.
I got a top 10 hot feet.
Oh, okay.
Celebrity
Let's
feet.
hear the top 10 on wikifeet.com.
Megan, I don't know who these people are. Megan Rath, Whitney, don't know who that is. Taraji P. Henson, don't know who that is. Jennifer Lawrence, Hunger Games.
Yeah, she
Miley
was the next
Cyrus, Jennifer Nettles, Danica Patrick, Beyonce,
one. Danica Patrick.
Elise Testone, and Lauren Conrad.
Lauren Conrad, no, she's had surgery on her feet probably.
You had surgery on your feet.
I did have plastic
Yeah.
surgery on my feet.
Yeah. How are your sexy feet?
That hasn't fixed
Anyone with
the issues. I still have pain.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon I'm going to blow the lid on this? You've had plastic surgery on your sexy feet. Doing
Is he on Wiki Feet?
I'm going to put you on Wiki Feet. Perth film director. And
I need to find
producer.
some before photos so we can have a before and after picture of what
The controversy.
my foot looks like because there's only one foot. I have wikifoot.com.
It's Wiki Feet.
Also, I posted out as the teaser for this last week's episode our thoughts on would you have sex with the invisible woman?
Cherry Healy is the documentarian.
Cherry Healy. What? But we don't know if she's had the lesbian. She didn't do the vagina. Sorry,
I don't know.
modification.
Maybe she did. She's done a bunch of ones.
She had it done, or she did a doc of it?
No, she had a doc on.
Yeah. So Dean wrote in reply to our question, "Would you have sex with the invisible woman?" He said, "No, she's a married woman."
That's a pretty good
Wouldn't
point.
Stretch Armstrong beat you.
So would your morals get in the way of the opportunity to put her in your 3 if she existed?
Because she's married.
Because she's married. Oh, but I think all of my 3 are married.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if
So
they're
I think
single.
it's, it's sort of...
Fair game.
Because it's you're already creating a fictional scenario,
Yeah.
then you extend the fictional. But it is a fair point about Invisible Woman, but perhaps were we discussing it in terms of not the Invisible Woman, but an invisible woman?
Yeah, that's
An
more what
invisible-
we're getting at.
I think it wasn't so
Yeah.
much. So
if she has a sister, say, that has the same effects, who's not married.
Yeah, or she
I
gets
realized
or she gets a divorce.
She got the effect in some space things, and
Yeah, there was a
in the
cosmic
movie,
incident.
but
There's a lot of space news we could potentially talk about tonight. I don't know if we want to.
yeah, sure.
There's a shitload of stuff happening in the space at the moment.
More than usual.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I've just been reading about it more than usual.
What's happening?
Space news.
Fill us in.
Space news. How about I run down some news headlines in a really dodgy, vague manner, and Pontifex can pick up the slack.
Yep.
All right. China are about to send their first
Female astronaut.
female astronaut to visit their space station for the first
The
time.
question is, are they an astronaut?
No, they're a taikonaut. Taikonaut. I think.
Taikonaut, okay.
They've got their own term.
Yeah, because I mean, the Russians are cosmonauts.
Cosmonauts.
Do they have their own space station, did you say?
Yes. They're the third nation in the world to achieve that feat.
Yeah, but there's no one up in the space station. It's just
No,
a
but she's going to be
prototype.
the first, isn't
Some
she?
woman up
Oh, they're
there,
going to
though.
send one up
I think she's gone up there.
to the prototype. She's already there.
And she's planned to. They've
Oh.
like.
Is this in like
penned it
5
in.
years' time then?
No, I think this is like this year. I think
Okay, all right.
they sent her up. She's a mother with a child. Apparently, China totally like. You've got to be. If they're going to send a
We
woman
need to
up,
not cook them as long as now they're crunchy snacks.
No, I like them crunchier.
Yeah,
No.
but we can't have crunchy snacks.
we got to lean back when you're chewing.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Chinese Space Institute are all like, if we're sending a lady up, she's got to be all motherly, and we're worried about radiation affecting your fertility, so you have to have had a kid already.
All right. Okay.
Do you reckon the other astronauts...
I thought they were
then-
trying to reduce their population so they didn't want people to have kids.
Yeah, they probably want their astronaut people.
So
to
do
have
normal
kids.
astronauts splooge in a jar to get it stored away in case you go into space?
Probably.
Yeah. Would you
Why
guys,
not?
have you guys had stuff stored?
No,
No.
None of your pre-26 sperm stored just in case?
before the genetic deterioration occurs. No,
Yeah.
Bad idea.
it's too late
well,
now.
it's too
Fred.
late
That's
now,
a
Socks
solid-
lying around on my stuff.
No.
I'm kidding, of course.
All right. So, and I'm under the impression that the Chinese space station, they're actually constructing a rocket up there. It's not just a station that's going to be orbiting. I'm under the impression they're constructing a rocket that they're going to blast off from space.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Where to? Probably.
Well, I know the
Mars.
prototype was just
yeah.
two rockets of their normal rockets just met up and connected robotically, and then just sat up there. But there's no people in it because they
No one
didn't want to risk it because it's a prototype.
They're still getting that down. Other space news.
US military launched their X-37.
But it would be cool if a country. I know this sounds bad, but it would be cool if a country that has not as much respect for human rights just said, "Fine, we're just going to chuck people out there and see what happens." You know,
I read a really interesting article.
they-
Harry, you're not
no.
on microphone.
You get sentenced to like space death if you're like a murderer.
Yeah.
Would you murder someone then?
No, but that's why. Okay, you know, I think we were all saying, you know, our favorite topic is would you go to Mars? And you guys said no. But what if you were, say, 70 years old and they said, oh, let's just send older people because, you know, they as long as you don't have dementia, you're probably still fit to operate in space because you don't need as much strength to do things.
I'd probably do it then.
Yeah, you would do it.
Yeah, I read an interesting article about exactly that, sending people up into space, like the value that people play or the institutions place on an astronaut's life, where it's like they're willing to spend, you know, hugely enormous sums of money to ensure their safety, which in any other department wouldn't be at all. Kind of the cost benefit of it would be so negligible, whereas an astronaut's life is, the dollar value is like priceless, essentially. So they treat it like that, whereas they can put like a dollar of value on someone who's working underground in a mine and go, well, the work is worth this much to us, so the safety measures that we put in place are worth this much, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were saying sort of like, how much further on would we be in the space race if we were less precious with our astronauts?
Exactly. Because that's what it was in the old Discovery days, you know. People were just sent off and they probably even volunteered because they wanted to have the chance to get a name out for their family, you know, and if they die, they probably got, you know, death insurance or something that would have set their family up for life, so they did it.
Yeah, but most of the space race was about national pride. So if you're killing people, it makes the nation look bad.
Right, but we're not intentionally killing people, right?
Yeah, I know, but the whole bloody space race was a PR exercise. So
I feel like
if you're
there
killing
is
people, you're
there
not
is
gonna-
volunteers that people are willing to risk. People risk their lives just jumping out of airplanes,
Fred.
skydiving, you know,
Yeah.
or doing the wing thing down the mountain. And 9 out of 10 people who do that die.
But you also
anyway.
need to be very highly educated and trained to be an astronaut. So if
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean,
You did.
the robots go and don't have an education. Right? We just command them from Earth. So why don't we just
Well, yeah. So
put someone up there in
No,
a
okay.
robot that does what the
These
NASA
days-
says?
Put someone in a robot.
Yeah.
Why put a person in it then?
No, but because people want to say, I'm the first person on Mars.
Sorry. Maybe I'll put this one
Um,
in the middle.
I know they had to back in the day because the computers were so crap that a lot of it was. Who wants Coca-Cola?
Yes, please.
A lot of it was on the humans, you know.
Proudly
and
sponsored by
the computers
Like
broke. They had to know how to do it by hand.
Well, it blows my mind that, Apollo 13, they had to just look out the window and aim at the Earth to try and fire their rocket to see if they get home.
Shut up. Did they?
Yeah, well, in the movie.
The the computer on the Apollo missions was. It didn't have like solid state RAM. It was wire that actually some women had to actually thread like super fine wire with like tiny millimeter magnets around it in like it was like an 8x8 grid or something like 16x16 grid to make 256 bits or whatever, and that was it. It was like you could see the bits are actually sort of physically sized things,
Wow.
not like today where you have
That's
to.
crazy.
What did that do though? Like, what's even the point in that?
Yeah, there gets to a point where like. If the computer's so crap, people could just calculate it. But
Yeah,
no, I think
couldn't
I
you
still
do that in
think
your
a
head?
computer can do it.
No,
a lot.
because you need slide rules to do it, and it's hard to use slide rules in space.
I started saying that I knew it was a bunch of crap.
So what's
They
some
had to poop in
computation?
bags. It's not like this great workplace up there.
Okay, so in other space news,
Other space-
Voyager's just leaving the solar system, correct?
Well, they keep saying that, but they keep every year it's like, oh, we're going to extend the solar system now. So, oh, now it's leaving the solar system, and then next year it's going to be, oh, now it's leaving the solar. Oh, wait, we've detected more solar systems.
Well, apparently now it's leaving the
oh
solar
right, yeah,
system.
but they've been saying for that every
You
year for the
heard
last 10 years. So.
Well, I'm
They
celebrating.
solved the Pioneer anomaly, they think.
What
what's
happened to
that?
Pioneer?
So the Pioneer anomaly was relatively famous a few years ago. Basically, the path that the Pioneer spacecraft should be taking, or its velocity or something, is very, very slightly, like less than 1% or something like that, maybe even smaller than that, different from what it's supposed to be, what it's calculated to be. So people are kind of saying, well, maybe this is some gravity effect that we don't understand on such massive scales and all this kind of thing. And so people were just, trying to find solutions. So people came up with non-Newtonian gravity and all this kind of stuff. But then it's some sort of lopsided heating of the thing over, the 20 years of it accelerating out into space. With
Well, that's
no
what
gravity.
they're telling us, right?
Yeah, why would they lie?
Well, what if they found out something horrifying?
It's been eaten by a space monster.
Oh, is that the scariest thing you think?
But they've lost contact with Pioneer. Is that what they're saying? You're talking about?
No, they didn't lose contact. They know exactly where it is, and where it is isn't exactly where it was supposed to be.
So
from
it's a
the cal-
space monster that's eaten it and is only changed.
Well,
No,
it,
but
it
Cal was
took a
saying
very gentle nibble.
Al was saying it might not even exist, so I'm just saying, well, is that
Well,
the worst
who
thing you can think
knows?
of?
What if-
No, because it's not like
What if they find out we're in a little marble in a locker somewhere at a
Like in
train
the
station?
Truman Show where he just hits the wall, he's sailing his ship.
Yeah. What if?
I don't know. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
because that's 13.7 billion light years away.
Well, still pretty scary. Think about it. Other news? Did you see that Mars rover that they're going to send? That's like going to be lowered by a floating sky crane.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the podcast before, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, maybe I wasn't here.
But talk about increasing your chances for error by having a
Cables and
thing,
things?
sending a thing to Mars, right? Then it parachutes down, then it releases a sky crane that then lowers a rover to the ground. And the thing that's holding up the sky crane from the ground is little rockets that have to fire at the right time.
And then once it's lowered it then sends off this almighty thrust that sends the platform flying off. What if the cables don't release properly?
Yeah.
It'll just tear that.
The three most successful vehicles they've sent to Mars are the ones where they put airbags on and just fly and just bounces down onto the ground. And all three of them worked.
Said the English one, didn't that?
That one didn't have bouncy things.
Oh, did not.
They just flew that straight into the ground.
Right, yeah, it had airbags underneath, but it just went boom. But it didn't bounce, so it
Team
died.
1 used like meters and Team 2 used feet per second. There might have been a different one, but one of them did that.
Are you guys going to
They
be
pay you well.
following NASA live? I tell you, it's one of the most exciting live broadcasts, right? Because all the scientists are watching just on tenterhooks, and they're just like, oh my God, I've been working on this for like 15 years. Let's hope it lands. And everyone's just like so much excitement held back. And then when they get the first signal back from Mars, they're just like, oh my God, my life was worth something. Oh my God.
I told you guys about that. I shot on Quantum with the solar one. So it was this spaceship that sat halfway between the Earth and the Sun for like 5 years with these gel panels collecting solar particles. And then it like covers up the gel panels, and it's supposed to come back to Earth. And the way they designed it to come back to Earth is that it enters the atmosphere, it launches its parachute, and then they have a team of stuntmen in helicopters, like crisscrossing the area where it's expected to land with these big hooks. And the idea is they hook onto the parachute and then tie it to the helicopter.
The hook is a giant boom that's attached to helicopters. The helicopter has to fly up to the parachuting down thing and hook onto the parachute in the middle of the sky to catch it, because if it hits the ground with full force, the particles that they're cackling are so delicate that they'll just shatter, as it hits the ground. So that's why they're doing this rather than just letting it parachute to the ground like normal things.
So
is this in Quantum Leap?
No, this is on, the ABC science show, Quantum. Yeah. Oh, it's Catalyst now.
Oh, so this is like they're talking.
So they're
about
giving a
doing this.
report on it, and the guy's live in the thing. He's like, okay, any minute now it should be appearing.
Yeah. And there's like 100 helicopters in the sky waiting for
Wait,
this
they
land.
actually did this?
They actually did this.
And
this guy's at the control center, and everyone's excited and they're waiting. And then it cuts to him, and it's really quiet, and he just goes, I think something's gone horribly wrong. And then they cut to this shot of like this crater.
Because the parachute didn't even deploy. It just hit the ground at full speed, entering the Earth's atmosphere, and just created like a huge meteorite that just hit the middle of this salt lake that it was targeting. Yeah, it was the biggest letdown ever.
Who came up with that scheme? Idiotic.
Well, it would have been funny if the parachute actually worked and then they couldn't actually catch it with the helicopters. That would have been the stupidest thing ever. At least this time they have an excuse like, oh, the parachute didn't work. So we
the
never had a
helicopter
chance.
stuff would have been alright.
Yeah.
There's a mechanical error. I've never heard of this thing. When did this happen?
Oh, a couple of years ago. We've talked about it. Pre-podcast, we've talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember talking about this or something?
I've never.
The Japanese actually did it though. They successfully did it. They brought
What? They
stuff.
caught something.
Yeah, they sent a probe to an asteroid. It landed on the asteroid, picked up some dust, and came back. And they caught it on the way down. Yeah,
How did they catch it?
I think doing the same helicopter thing. So it has been.
Shut the fuck up! This is a real. Oh, I'm having so
Well,
much
you
trouble
can Google it
believing
later,
this.
but I know the Japanese have actually successfully done it. It's just NASA that's having a bad record of it.
Wow. All right. What else is in our news? James has started a feminist corner by the looks of it.
Yeah, feminism corner, because we were talking about the feminist frequency. I thought, we should just
maybe
take on
each
the
week one of us could,
bandwagon.
cover a lady topic.
Have you guys heard about the Tomb Raider controversy?
Wasn't it always a bit controversial?
Tomb Raider.
Right, but okay, why has it always been controversial?
Because the whole point of the game is it's a skimpily dressed lady running around.
Yeah.
So controversy.
Okay, but what if they got her right and they decided to do a prequel, where before her breasts were fully developed, right?
That's
And
the whole
before
gist of the
she had-
prequel.
Yeah. And,
Well, her breasts slowly grow over the course of the game, and then at the end, when they're double
As
cheeked,
you-
just like ching.
Right.
No, it's as you collect mystical artifacts. They, it's like it's the
it's
F
like
cup
an
cookie.
estrogen
Are you serious?
injection.
Oh, okay.
They should have done that.
I don't know. Tomb Raider was pretty platinum too.
And it's her origin story, and it's kind of like how Batman, he became like this
Yeah, I think
kick-ass dude because his parents was murdered. How do you think they're gonna turn her into a sort of super person?
That's not controversial.
No, I'm asking you.
Parents killed.
Just the same as Batman?
Come on, Fred. A little bit more
what's
imagination.
a
Demonic curse.
Yeah, that could happen to anyone though. What could happen to a lady?
Sexual assault.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So,
Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's sort of what everyone's thinking
Yeah.
right now.
So the developers said
plot devices.
the developers at
Then
E3
rape?
were
No
doing
way.
Yeah, the developers at E3 were doing demos, right, and saying we want you to really identify the character, right? So we have this scene at the start of the game where she's almost raped, and you have to like do a quick time event where you punch people to get out of it, and that makes you identify with her more and take the character more seriously. And of course, the internet is all up in screams saying that the only way we can actually identify a female character is if she gets raped or is attempted to be raped.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Fred?
No, I don't like the sound of that. Prepubescent rape.
Well, I don't know how
Not a
old she
fan.
is, but
I thought yeah. No, I think that's a stupid choice on the developer's part.
right. But do you think that they're not allowed to do it?
Well, if they really want to, they can.
Oh,
but-
they're allowed to do it,
can
but it's
do whatever
just
they want.
a stupid thing to
Yeah.
do.
yeah.
Because it's just like rape for the sake of rape. Let's just throw it in there, make it edgy.
Yeah.
But how many other superheroes have we heard about?
Getting raped.
Just because none of them are getting
They
raped
have-
doesn't mean there has to be one that got
They're
raped.
going on revenge from being raped.
But that's a whole genre of film, isn't it?
Is it?
The rape
Like
film.
revenge films.
Revenge films?
Yeah. It was like a exploitation genre, like I Spit on Your Grave, which was a huge influence on Tarantino's.
So we
Kill
can't do that in a medium now
no, I just
because
think no, you can't. It's
that's
just,
ruled out as a
But
storyline.
Lara Croft is a sex object.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So if she,
So it seems a bit
this incident is she goes to an island with, natives that have never seen human contact. She turns up in a skimpy outfit, and they trap her and they try to rape her. Right. Which we've been told through. We've always been grown up being told Viking stories where they raped and pillaged.
I wasn't told those stories.
Where does the whole idea of being rape and pillaging come from? I don't know.
No, I just think if you're going to, it's such a delicate topic. I think that to bandy it about
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
in
to get
such
at.
a
She's
way.
sex object.
No, but
It's a
this
cheesy
okay
game.
again.
really-
All right, if this was a movie, it wouldn't be an issue because movies have a completely different marketing process, right? Video games, I don't know why this is, and maybe it's just because of the way that the marketing engines have been for video games over the years, is they tell everything. When you see what's happening, everyone tries to show the behind the scenes thing where, okay, we want the player to become attached to the player by doing this. In Fable, they gave you a dog, and all the videos leading up to Fable were trailers of, hey, you get a dog and you'll become attached to it, right? And now these guys are saying, okay, we actually have a female character who's the lead of the video games, and now everyone's going, oh, you can't do that because the way you're saying...
I don't think with Tomb Raider, because it's not a... I never actually played the games, but I would voice my opinion anyway. It's not a deep and meaningful game. My understanding was that it's just running around and she's pretty hot and you do some jumps, and its main point was that she's pretty
Yeah, but they're
hot.
trying to make
and now
it
she's
gritty.
getting
They're
raped
trying to
in
make
this
it gritty, like, they're doing the Casino Royale thing where you come out and he gets hit on
fan
the...
input
He gets
says, move on.
tortured on the balls.
From rape.
Not unless you tweet in, it doesn't count.
You have to tweet.
He gets tortured by being hit in the balls, and it's like, well, should we say that that's sexist because it's like that's the weak
But I
point
think-
of a
well,
male character that we can only identify with a male if he gets hit in the balls?
I think if you've got a topic, excuse me, a topic like a rape, you need to be, you need to be really sensitive about that,
Oh, right.
and with the kind of how you tackle that subject or discuss it. And I think if you're creating a work which talks about that crime or the kind of ramifications of those events, and you're talking about it in an intelligent, meaningful, sensitive way, then, there's no medium in which you shouldn't be able to discuss those issues.
Yeah.
However, I think it's really inappropriate to use it as a plot device in an action-adventure game. That's what I think. It'd almost be as inappropriate as just throwing it into a Mario Brothers game.
Yeah, but... Okay. But the Mario Brothers, how important is the story to a Mario Brothers game?
No, it's 0% important. Which
Yeah,
is why I think throwing something like that in would...
Yeah, but the thing is, they're trying to make a real story here, and obviously the writer of this game, who is a writer and artist, has felt that this is has written this into the thing, and it happened. It's not like she actually gets raped. It's just, that's her. She fights back, and I'm not trying to like, defend like this is great. It just seems like someone's trying to turn this into an issue when it happens all the time, and the only difference is that because it's in a video game, right? That that you're saying that video games as an art aren't mature enough to handle that subject matter.
Tomb Raider's not really mature, is it?
Yeah, I don't think Tomb Raider's mature.
Yeah, exactly. So James Bond
right?
wasn't mature enough to deal with the issues until they decided to reboot it with Casino Royale.
Yeah, but
and do really serious things.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny when someone gets hit in the nuts. Like Australia's Funniest Home Videos. It's one of our longest running programs, and the whole premise is guys getting hit in the nuts.
Were you laughing in the Casino Royale site?
Yeah, everyone was having a giggle. Even he was having a giggle. If you remember.
No,
correctly.
I remember everyone going, that's the worst thing
James
ever.
Bond was laughing it off.
Can I ask my question of the week?
Sure. Are we moving on from...
Segue. Yeah, nobody wants to talk about rape for too long.
Yeah, question of the week. What is it?
This is my question of the week. I would have asked you anyway if you didn't podcast. So, me and James have started playing Saints Row the Third, as I talked about earlier, and you can customize your character to an extreme level, like every single facial feature, body not that much, but hair, all the eye shapes, all the nose shapes. So while I was doing this customization, because I knew we were going to do co-op at some point, I was thinking, what is James going to do for his character? So I made an attractive lady. She's got some scars. She's got a rough past and some moles, so she's not perfect.
She ever been raped?
No. We're off rape, Harry.
It's taboo, Harry. You're not allowed to talk about it.
And then we went into the game, and James had made a copy of himself in the thing.
How accurate? It was accurate enough that you could spot straight away.
Yeah, you knew it was James. So I thought that was weird to make a copy of yourself. But then I was thinking maybe what I did was a bit weird to make
for a male to play as a hot female.
But then I was talking to one of the fans, and she said that it would be less weird if I made the character look like my girlfriend a little bit. So then that was even... So I don't know.
I
want to know what you guys
Is this a relationship issue?
Nah, well, I don't think that's off limits. Because I thought that was even weirder. So what do you guys think?
Some people say the
Yourself
argument
playing
for
as a
guys
girl?
playing as a female is like, well, if I've got to watch her behind the whole game,
That was my exact attitude.
right, I might as well make it something that I want to look
Spot on.
at.
Yep. So what do you think?
I think...
Do you guys ever play as females?
Yeah, in Super Mario Brothers 2, that's what blew my mind about it. You could choose multiple characters, and one of them was a lady. I think that was like the
Princess Peach.
first
But that
game.
also comes with power, different powers, doesn't it? This is purely aesthetic.
Oh, that was purely aesthetic. Yeah, there were slight different powers, but that was amazing to me. I think that was the first game I ever played where you could be a lady. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. In a good way, I don't know. It's all role-playing. And if you want to... I guess it's different. It's like, do you want to play a role of being someone else, or do you want to be yourself doing something else?
But this is a really violent, nasty world. So it's like
Well, I think-
James
I think
is in that
straight
world
out-
as his avatar.
Straight
Weird.
out, the weirdest one is playing as your girlfriend.
No, it looks like your girlfriend. An homage, I think, is the theory that it's
Yeah.
like I'm making an attractive
So is it-
girl, and she happens to look like you.
So you mean it's more like a tribute to her, or
Yeah.
And so
Okay,
it's
so
not
it's
like
not like-
you're not cheating
No,
on her.
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
making some foxy red hot smoker. It's like, oh, if it's a lady, it has to be you. I'm staying true to you in what is it, Saints Row the Third as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Yeah, but so I think playing as yourself's the weirdest, James. Because now it's like you're in the world doing this stuff, shooting people, murdering, but you're not role playing. You're
Is
like
it-
living it.
Is it only weird
isn't the
because
point? I
James
thought-
is in the world, and when you're in the world, you're a
I know,
sexy
it's
lady?
a bit awkward in the car.
Is that what makes it weird?
I
And
see him
like
looking at me.
his avatar actions like, yeah, come
I got
here,
the
baby.
sexiest dance as well. I was dancing and grinding all over him.
That's
See, I think it's the interpersonal. I think it's the interplay. If you are both playing ladies, or if you're both being yourself.
Would your character, sorry, not you, your character bang my character if the option was there?
I can't separate it from.
That's not a no.
Yeah, I can't separate it. Yes, I would.
But I'd be thinking about you, Fred.
Yeah,
If it was part of the
It's weird,
story,
it's weird.
then I guess.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
But yeah, I
You
guess I'm putting
contributed to the
myself.
narrative
The thing is,
of
I'm putting myself into the game, so I'm like.
But what about in Dungeons and Dragons, Fred? Your character's just like you. Why didn't you
I'm
make
not
a
a-
sexy lady?
I'm not a midget.
Well, you're not very tall.
No, but he's not like me, I don't think. But
He's
I
a
guess
physicist.
no, he's not. He's a halfling rogue. I am rather roguish though.
I guess I guess I've got my kick out of playing role playing as a woman by playing Lady Antoinette. So I don't need to do it in video games at the moment. But maybe if I didn't have Lady Antoinette in my life, I would.
This was an aesthetic choice for me. Not a.
Do you feel different when you're role playing a lady, Fred?
But you don't really role play. I guess I do. I spent a lot of time shopping.
You did.
Just a surprisingly large amount of time. When I had the cash, I went shopping basically.
I remember I
spent
was
a lot of time on the outfits.
I was in the game and I had played up to a certain level, right? And then I left. I went to my hockey game, right? And then I noticed on Fred's Xbox card that he hadn't even started the game. And I came back and he'd spent thousands and thousands of dollars on clothes and outfits and cars and stuff like that.
That's role playing.
So does it
She
does
likes
it
to look good.
does it change? Yeah, does it change if you were playing the game as like a male character with a male avatar? Do you think your play style would be different? Do you think it affects the way you
I don't think my play
interact with the
style
world?
would be different. No. I probably wouldn't spend so much time on outfits,
Okay.
but probably because it's not a proper role playing game, right? It's just like GTA. You just run around. There's not very many choices and skills
No.
you develop.
Sounds like there's a few outfit choices.
a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of outfit choices.
Take that, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
We got stuck on that heli character. Never got past it
Oh, it's having a renaissance right now. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Everyone's
because it's
doing-
like the Avengers the game.
yeah.
Because they didn't
Because
release
it's
an
the good-
Avengers
it's-
the game.
Well, I think I did, but it's really crap. But that's the only good Marvel game that ever came out, so everyone's playing it now.
It was pretty cool.
They brought out a sequel that's not even good as the first. I still think we should go back and finish it, but
Now, what's next?
or the Shark versus Shark. This is from last week.
Okay, I saw Shark versus Shark.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
What is it? Can you explain?
So one giant shark, right, that they don't even know what size it is except by measuring its bite marks in the side of a 5-meter white pointer.
Okay, so what happened? They caught a 5-meter shark, right? And
Yeah.
as they were pulling it in,
Then there's this huge chunk missing.
well, no, didn't it get bitten when they pulled it in?
Or maybe it did.
As they were pulling it in, boom, it got attacked by an even bigger shark.
Yeah.
And this thing's huge, and then it looks like it's been bitten almost in half. It looks
and the
comical.
bite mark is like a perfect, shape of like a shark's mouth.
It looks cartoonish. It looks like a bad Photoshop job. And I've seen a lot of shops.
Like this is a giant white pointer, and some even bigger white pointers went chomp into it.
That's really mental.
6 meters, crikey.
Crikey.
It was still alive as a really
Yeah,
and
that's
its
horrifying.
body. I feel bad for that shark almost.
The fictional shark at the center of Steven Spielberg's blockbuster Jaws was estimated to be more than 1.5 meters long.
No,
What?
no.
No, I
think
it was
you're reading that
20
wrong.
feet long.
Someone.
It sounds.
Longer.
Oh, long.
Longer than the one that they found.
All right. No, I'm the fool.
So, what? Just reconfirming sharks are really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't fuck with them.
I was listening back on one of our previous episodes, and we were talking about,
Getting eaten by sharks?
I can't remember. Like, what would you prefer to take on, a tiger in the ocean or a shark,
Shark on land.
or a shark on land?
Tigers are really good swimmers, though.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
a shark-
That's true.
shark
What about a lion
run.
then? Is it lions that don't like swimming?
I don't think lions like the water. Tigers
Yeah,
love the
okay.
water. They do most. I think they do a lot of hunting in the water.
Okay. Well, maybe that wasn't a good
Maybe a
example.
crocodile on land.
Oh, but
Oh, they can
crocodiles
run faster than you.
Yeah, I know,
That's-
okay, because a shark on land is not that terrifying.
Oh, it
Yeah, but
would
the
be.
thing is, we were talking about if you just got near enough, it could just whip around and just do enough damage to kill you.
Yeah, but you just
Yeah.
don't, right?
Yeah.
You just,
Yeah, just
walk up
stand
to
back.
it. You just stand like 2
Yeah.
meters back.
What if it was like a 6 meter long shark and you're in a 6 meter by 6 meter room? Cube. That's scary, huh? It'd be thrashing around like motherfucker.
That'd be scary. I reckon you could do it though. Survive.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, it would be
though. It'd be
terrifying.
thrashing around in such a confined space.
But you got to last what, a minute, and then it'll just die. Nah. Has it got some scuba gear on?
it's got a snorkel. It's got an aqua lung.
An anti-snorkel. Pump water down it. What are you motioning for?
It'd have like water pumping through its gills, wouldn't it?
Like that fish guy in Hellboy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, so we've just reconfirmed how scary
Yeah.
sharks are.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I was listening to the Halloween special. I was thinking because I'm looking for little tidbits to post on our Twitter feed.
Campbell's got a glass of wine and a bar mix.
Okay, now
And
keep
a-
talking.
and
I
a
gotta get
devious-
it set up.
All right. Well, this is
devious
going to make a
look.
lot of noise. It's going to mess us up. And we were talking about what's our greatest fear, right? And I forgot to say in that episode what my greatest fear of now is. Like, we talked about how childhood fears. And my greatest fear of current times pretty much is umpiring for hockey. Because I know you've been to a football game, Fred. The umpires don't get treated that well, even though, they're trying to do it for the good of the game. They're just there. We need them.
Yeah.
But they don't get any respect, as if...
Do you have to umpire hockey?
Yep.
Huh.
As part of the thing, you have to umpire at least one game a year, if not two. And it is my biggest fear because you go in there and everyone's shouting at you, going, "Oh my god, you got that wrong" and stuff. It's like, I have no idea. I barely know the rules of hockey, and I'm just like blowing the whistle when I think something's wrong. But you can't even, like, you're looking you don't get the view of sitting up in the stadium to look down. You're looking horizontally. So if one person's in the way and something happens in that field of view, you have no way of seeing it, but they expect you to still call it.
But there's no replay, right? So
Yeah,
you
there's
call
no
it,
replay.
and if someone calls bullshit, you just say no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's
And there's
what
not
you
some
do.
commenter
That's
replaying
what you
it.
do,
Oh,
but it's still, it's. I have a much greater fear than like public speaking or anything like that because you're put on the line and inevitably there's someone on the team that just like, oh my god, the umpires are out to get you and stuff like that. And like the two teams umpiring, I barely even heard of. I have no biases whatsoever. I just call as I see it. And I had to call a penalty flick this week. I don't even. I've never umpired with a game of penalty flick before. I've barely played many games with penalty flicks before. So
It's the
Oh,
I didn't
most
even know.
exciting thing that can happen in a hockey game.
Yeah, and I barely know the rules, like, because the goalkeeper actually saved it, but the ball went out of the ground. So what happens? Who gets the ball there? Does it just go back to the middle, or is it a long corner because it went off the goalkeeper? And both teams were arguing over who got the ball, and I'm just like, let's just do something. And I have no idea what to call it, if I made it right or not. And I even asked my colleague on the other side of the field, who's much more, has played.
Did you go like this?
15 years more hockey. Basically, I just said, look, I've never even umpired a penalty flick, but I don't know. I'm just going to call it like this. And because, the thing is, I also don't watch hockey, right? Except if I'm playing
You sound
as
like
a
you don't
substitute.
really like hockey that much.
No, but I'm like, I watch, AFL and soccer games every weekend. I could probably umpire those matches better than hockey because whenever I'm playing, I always have a biased point of view because I'm like, well, our team
You always
should get
think
the
the
ball.
umpires are out to get you.
Yeah.
Fucking umpires.
So I know in soccer, right, it's play on if the goalkeeper stops it on a penalty, right? So they can get a goal afterwards if it goes out to corner. But I'm pretty sure it's different for hockey, but I wouldn't know.
So that's your greatest, social fear, though, right?
Probably, yeah.
Not, being eaten by
Yeah,
a
I
shark
dread
or
it. Like,
something.
the lead up, this past few days are probably the best days of my life this year because I know that it's going to be at least, hopefully I don't have to umpire again this year. It's going to be at least a year until I have to umpire again.
You know what my social fear like that is? in conferences, there's usually like the chair of the session. So there might be like 5 speakers in the session, and the sort of protocol is if there's a talk and nobody asks any questions at the end of it because either it's too complicated or too boring or no one cares or anything. Basically, the chair has to come up with some questions to ask the person to fill in the time or just to make the thing interesting. And that would be my nightmare.
Being that person.
Because you have to come up with some... You know, you have to listen to every talk to understand it enough to ask the questions, and sometimes they're terrible. You know, I just be like, oh, that's my greatest social fear of that.
Harry, do you have one?
Probably, but I can't think of it right now.
Maybe being put on the spot and asked a question.
Yeah, shit, I really hate that.
Okay.
But I had to be a chair for we did just group talks
Yeah.
in our group. And I had to be a chair for almost a year.
Did you do it? Did you ask the questions?
Oh, I came up with some really terrible questions.
Yeah.
Did we end up mixing up that one?
But usually there were questions, so it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've seen some talks that were just incoherent, and I didn't understand. I don't think many people knew what the hell was going on. Like really bad public speakers doing a really complicated thing no one understands, and the chair is just looking terrified because they have to come up with something.
Can't you ask them where they got this shirt from or something? What are you wearing?
Smart casual.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wearing anyway.
Oh, no, but oh, wow. Who are you wearing? What designer
I love your
is
dress.
that? Yeah, I love that dress. Who is it?
Good. I don't know if we go over to
just throw it in a completely different direction.
Kind of defeats the point. You'll be exposed as a fraud.
No, it exposes them. You could just shake your head and go, that doesn't even deserve a question.
Yeah, well, some people do.
Do they? Wow. Okay, there was a question just made then by James. No one's going to find out my social fears, by the way.
Why not? Because we're going to use them against you.
That's right.
Is that your greatest social fear?
Campbell, what's your social fear?
Now, James, I've brought with me tonight my Mixmaster. Is it a Mixmaster? I don't know what it's called. It's like a bar mix, sorry.
It's 400 watts.
It's like a little
of
400 watt Braun little blender thing.
I call it a stab mix.
Stab mix?
Or a stick mix.
A stick mix. You're right.
It's a stick mix, bro.
Stick mix. You've got one, don't you, Harry?
I have a stick mix, yes.
Okay, well, here's something you can do with your stick mix. Blend your red wine with it.
Why? To aerate
Really?
it.
To aerate it.
Get the oxygen.
So, alright, so we used to have carafes, right? To let the wine breathe. The idea is the oxygen does whatever the fuck it does, alright?
What is the idea?
The oxygen does something.
Yeah, it has a chemical reaction. Oxidizes. Yeah.
Alright?
The bad stuff that tastes
Some of that
bad.
antioxidant.
But don't you? If you leave wine in the air too long, it goes bad as well.
Yeah, but if you get the right
It
amount.
turns
Yeah,
into
but that's
vinegar.
like if you leave it for too long.
But what's too long? How long?
12
we talking?
hours.
So I could leave wine open for 3 hours. It'd be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Well, you're supposed to, I think, if you're using a carafe.
Yeah, especially
like
older
3
wines,
hours.
you should leave it for a minimum of half an hour.
Well, I
open.
think it's the difference between a chemical oxidation and a biological oxidation mediated by
Oh, really?
organisms coming in from the atmosphere.
Wicked.
Really? So the wine's actually started to
Science.
grow stuff and go bad, like full of
Yeah.
bacteria and stuff.
Yeah, if you leave it for too long,
I mean,
you
that's
get
why
the
it turns into
yeasts
vinegar,
and stuff coming and turning the alcohol into vinegar.
Have you been reading that? What was that manga that was all about fermentation?
Oh, no, I haven't.
That thing was amazing.
But did you check out Manga Rock?
I haven't yet. I haven't gotten on the iPad. Liz
Because
hogs
you
it.
can get the whole series translated on Manga Rock.
For how much?
Free.
What?
Yeah. It's totally sweet.
I will. All right. So, so the idea is yes, the oxidization process. So, some people thought, hey,
Can we do a blind taste
if
test?
yes, we can. Just wait.
Sorry, I'm
if we
so
do-
excited.
I know. If we do a little bit of oxidization, surely a lot in a short amount of time would be even better. So you can get these things that I think they sit over your wine glass and you pour the wine into it.
Yeah,
and it
my
goes
mum and dad have bought into it.
It's a Venturi aerator.
A Venturi aerator, says Harry. Thank you. So, my brother-in-law, when I was down south last, he was like, hey, bro, check this out. Because he used to have the big aerating carafes. He's all into wine. He knows everything about wine. And he was explaining the whole process. And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's really interesting. So, I looked into it. And then I saw this blog by this guy from New York who's like a wine expert. And he was like, you know what? That thing's really cool. But to get even more air into it even quicker, just use a bar stick, like a stick mix.
In America, I think they do call them a bar mix.
Oh, do they? Maybe that's where I'm getting it from.
Bar mixes.
Bar mixes, right? And
an
you get
American
even
influence.
more air into it even quicker. So we were going to do... So I thought I'd bring it along because we've got us
So
some
I
red
think
wine. So we'll do a taste
James should
test.
leave the room.
No.
right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll buzz one. We'll have pour the
What?
wine.
You're not
in
going to
there.
do it as well, friend?
We'll pour half
I think
into one
Campbell should
glass.
just do the buzzing and then
Buzz
everyone
one
else.
half of it and then pour that into another glass. We'll know which one's which.
Yep.
James tastes it. If we're going to do double blind, we shouldn't even know, but that's too complicated.
How about
And then James
all
tastes them
three
both.
of us leave the room and Campbell does it all?
I could do it all.
Then we can have
The
replication.
glasses, clean glasses.
That's
up
even
there.
better, Harry.
All right. Here are the two wines. Here are the two wines.
So we can hear the reactions.
All right, so I've successfully blended the wines.
Shit, which one's which?
That's right. So
Oh, I've already biased my
let's
opinion
put
now.
this through the to the test. So we've just got a box cab Merlot.
It's the winner of the Sustainability Award. Nothing to do with wine.
No, it's
Carbon
sustainability.
price.
De Bortley. And yeah, so there's two wines in front of you. Well, one wine, two pouring methods. Would you like to have a taste?
Yes, please.
Be my pleasure.
All right, so this is wine number one. Did you have a smell? And this is wine number two.
It's got to be wine number one is
Oh, there you,
mixed.
come on.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to bias the panel.
Bias the panel now. Well done, Fred. All that scientific training
Out the
amounts to
window.
nothing, doesn't it?
So is it me?
I'm a physical scientist, not a goddamn social scientist.
I'm not a goddamn social scientist here, man.
I'm going next.
No, I guess he
Yes,
semi-empirical.
James is starting with wine two. He's got his nose right in there. And now wine number one. Spilled over the MacBook here.
Harry.
You don't know. You have to close your eyes.
Right.
And I'll choose one.
Oh,
We're
what?
re-blinding it after I accidentally unblinded it. Okay, Harry. Oh, wait, he's going to see these ones. You have to
Just
drink
keep your eyes
with
closed.
your eyes closed right above your MacBook.
Now onto a different wine.
A different one.
Completely different. Yeah, there's quite a large difference in flavour there. Number two that I had was much sharper and kind of...
Mm.
And number one was smoother. And I'm suggesting the smoother one was the aerated.
James.
I agree with Harry says. I don't know what one was aerated, but I do agree that one was smoother.
Which one, though?
Number one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one.
Now I might have a taste.
We should double blind you as well.
Oh, yeah, you should. Too bad.
Riveting radio here.
Whoa.
Fanging around.
That is intense. I hadn't tasted them before then.
You can follow us on twitter.com for...
Or facebook.com.
If you
Slash
wanna
banging around.
Do a search for
hear
some
more
google.com.
of this on the twits.
On the twits. So Harry, your theory was that wine one was the process, was the
Number
aerated?
one, aerated.
Pontifex? You said you could taste the difference, but you weren't sure which one was aerated.
I mean, I feel like maybe two was the aerated one, even though, yeah.
Even though you preferred the taste of number one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely preferred the taste of number one. So if it's not the aerated one, then the aerating's made it worse.
Well, I actually thought the number two had a bit more flavour to it. I kind of like
Yeah, I think
a
it's
little bit of the... It was probably a
You
little
got
bit
the
too
fruity.
sharp.
It was more fruity, but then it's a Cab Merlot, so it's meant to be a bit mellow. So
But that kind of sharpness that kind of burns.
it's hard to tell when
down
you're using this crappy
your
box.
Maybe next week we have to get a bottle of reasonable.
No, but I think it only works with the crappy box one. I don't think you'd want to aerate the shit out of a really good wine, would you? Just
Yeah, well, an
Yeah, you
old
totally
wine you
would.
do because it's been sitting all musky for ages. You do want it to bring out flavor because you can definitely tell it on old wine because I've definitely done the taste test on older wines, and there's a huge difference between that first sip and then having a next sip half an hour later after you've had it open for a little.
Fred, have another
half
taste.
a bottle.
So everyone could taste a distinct
Yeah, there's
difference in
just
the two,
definitely
right?
a difference. Yeah, for sure.
So which one's which? The big reveal.
Oh, yeah, speaking of what you mean, Harry, isn't this is it's sharper versus more mellow.
So I'm guessing. I think maybe the mellow makes it. Maybe I'm biased from Bed's opinion. I say the mellowing that's what should happen from the aerating, I think.
Can you reveal?
Do you want to discuss some more?
Okay, so I'm gonna switch my answer. I say one was that.
No, but it's not. The point isn't to pick the aerated one. It's like, which one do you prefer? And if that's the aerated one or not, then that's like
right.
validates
But I
the
don't
process.
even know what I'm drinking. That's the problem. So I prefer number one.
We told you it's a deliberately 3-liter box of Cab Merlot.
Exactly.
The one you drink every Monday.
No, but I buy this one because I think you guys will like it more, not from what I like. So,
What do you like?
James, that's so nice of you.
huh?
That's so nice.
Don't think of us next
I
time.
know you guys
buy a
aren't the
3-litre
biggest
box
red wine drinker, so I get the one with Merlot in it because I know that smooths it out. I know Fred likes the smoother red wines,
Yeah, that's
not the
nice.
really sharp
true.
flavored ones.
Yeah, and it's true because just
That's
then in
why
the
I-
taste test.
Yeah,
try to-
he preferred the smoother
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to reveal?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Fred has been hounding me. Number 2 is the aerated wine.
Really?
Really?
So it's a more fruity flavor comes from there. Yeah, yeah.
More
makes sense.
bit sharper, more intense.
Mm-hmm.
I
Number
thought that was
2
the opposite
is
of what it's
aerated.
supposed to do.
No,
But
that's
what's
what it is
the-
meant to do because when you cut, at least with old wines, it comes out really flat, and it's not until you aerate it with the carafe that you get the fuller flavors of the thing.
Perhaps I aerated it too much. Maybe next time just to...
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it depends on the wine you're having. See, these guys preferred the lack of flavor, I think, in their wine.
I preferred number 2.
Okay.
Turncoat.
No, I think if you go back, that's what I said.
Yeah, well,
I think.
I'm
There's
just gonna have
nothing...
to keep drinking these 2 glasses of wine until I don't say.
So there you go. That's a little experiment. I've taken to blasting all my red wines with a blender.
It's a good idea.
It's just for fun.
I'm gonna try it at home.
Whenever I get a red wine, I blast it and I pour like 2 half glasses and I see how it tastes different.
When it comes to the cask, it comes like that. That's enough aeration.
Well, that's the
For
funny
those at
thing
home,
is
when you come in a cask, it gets all bubbly like it's Ribena.
yeah, it looks just like, well, do they know what Ribena is? When I poured both of them, right? So I blended it and it frothed right up, and I poured both of them. And the one out of the cask took ages to settle. It looked like that. It looked like it had been aerated. Anyway, that's a bit of my news.
That was a good experiment.
Yeah, I thought you guys would like it.
Wine news.
Well, it's amazing.
Wine
already.
news. The wine.
Well, I still can't get over the wine we had last week that Harry brought, and it was sort of like, oh yeah, by the way,
Was that
10-year-old wine.
was that a really old cheap bottle, or was it a? I guess I asked Harry. Didn't you?
I don't think it was super cheap. It may have been like a $10 wine, but
That's not super cheap.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
well,
cheap.
super cheap's like $5.
This is super cheap.
$15 for 4 liters. How many liters is that? Actually, it was less than that because I got a discount.
So I've got a couple of
$14.
things in my corner. I guess we could just rocket through them.
Yep.
Wood skyscrapers. We've talked about this before. I brought it up.
Controversial issue. I was reading the comments and people just going, "Oh my god," because some people say, "Well, I mean, wood is a carbon sink, so it's good to take carbon out of the environment and build buildings out of it." Supposedly, it's better at fire
More fire
retardation, for more fire retardant. But of course, if you're not using a sustainable wood supply, then it's not that good because you're destroying habitats for animals. Or you're, on the other hand, like in Australia, you're corrupting other environments by, if you plant a pine forest of a non-native pine into a replacement of a jarrah forest, then the diseases that come from that forest spread into the jarrah forest. And I mean, we should ask Harry here to ask about that, but I know there's diseases in the forest and they're from. Harry, we're going to ask you, like, where do you think dieback came from? Did it get introduced by Europeans, or is it just a natural thing that's happening and it's
Well, that's a matter of
conjecture?
conjecture. It's still being debated. They think the center of origin of Phytophthora was somewhere Asia. Kind of, it's still something they're trying to work out, but somewhere southern China, Taiwan sort of region. That's where they reckon it came from. But I think it's a pretty large area that it potentially came from. In that region.
So we're talking about wood skyscrapers as a eco-friendly alternative to steel skyscrapers, right?
Mm.
What is the impact of growing like pine forests in place of natural forests? Do you know?
What do you mean? What sort of impact? It's a completely different forest.
Yeah, so do any of our native animals live in pine forests? Or is
No.
that a good thing because they don't live in there, so when we knock it down, they don't get killed?
Depends on your standpoint, I suppose. No, well, yeah, you would get completely different habitat forming and you get completely different animals and stuff. It's completely different.
Is there anywhere in WA where they're sustainably growing trees, knocking them down, using them for stuff? I mean, they also took complaining about saying, you know what, it's crazy that we use trees for paper and tissues, you know. Like we should be using hemp or something like that. Because trees...
Don't you get a finer, nicer tissue?
It'll be
so it doesn't
one more.
irritate your
It might be
nose?
much more cost effective to
anus.
use trees in skyscrapers if we weren't using them for pulp. If we weren't pulping them.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea using, weeds to make paper goods.
And because they grow a lot faster, obviously.
Yeah.
Isn't it all a big conspiracy?
Well, cannabis was going
Cannabis
to be
outlawed by the cotton growers because it's so good and so blah blah blah.
so quick and yeah.
And gets you super baked.
So wood skyscrapers, that segues onto my next news. China's planning on building the world's tallest building. So the current tallest building is in Dubai. It cost about $1.5 billion to build and took about 6 years to construct.
1.5 billion with slave labor.
With slave labour. Okay. And it took about 6 years to construct, and there were a couple of issues along the way, but from start to finish, 6 years. So China's going to build the highest building in the world. It's going to take them 90 days
90 days.
and will cost them $692 million.
90 days.
90 days. They've developed this prefabricated modular
Why
system.
don't it just be butt ugly?
Yes. I'm guessing it's going to be hideous. It's going to be just a big
Or it's going to
tower.
be so simple that it's going to be elegant.
That's another way of looking at it. So they built a 30-story building in 15 days as a test for this, using the same sort of construction methods. So it's 15 days. Yes, it's around the clock. Yes, the slab's already laid. Yes, all the components are already built, and they're just getting trucked in. And yeah, they work around the clock for 15 days, and they built a 30-story building, and it was ready to move into. Like, everything was done. The interior was done. 15 fucking days.
How many people
How many people in the 30-story building, or how many people did it take to make it?
did it take to make it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It should just be man hours per dollar or something. See if they really are more efficient.
But yeah, 692 million versus 1.5 billion. 90 days versus 6 years.
So that tower in Dubai, is it?
Yeah.
It's not bad looking.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Harry's just pulled it up.
I'm watching the video because I didn't do my homework.
Harry's watching the video of them building it in 30 days. The 30-story one, sorry, in 15 days.
Man, I just saw it in about 3 seconds. It looked really fast.
It's really, really crazy. It's a cool video. It shows you. It shows the erection of it. What do you guys think about it?
They building it now? What?
Yeah, it's showing you. So the video's
they
showing you
build
some
it
of their
then?
prefab. Yeah, they've done the 30-story tester, which is an apartment.
It is a very quick erection.
Yeah, it's over before you know it. But it really makes an impact, you know? It leaves an impression. There it goes. And it's got this system, so I guess it's kind of floors/roofs that click in, and then it's got these, I guess, girders that just hold everything up. And everything just seems to click together. It's like Lego or Meccano. It's just kind of ridiculous.
What I want to know is why aren't all buildings made? Why does it take the Chinese to figure this shit out? I mean, surely modular building has been around for years.
Yeah.
Why aren't all buildings modular?
Well, up it goes. So they're doing the inner core, and then...
Oh, so they're working around the clock.
Yeah, I see that.
What's nuts is why the Perth Arena's taken 6 years. to
Man,
And it's so fucking ugly.
It is the most hideous thing ever.
this 30-story building will be more attractive than that arena. And they keep on putting more and more layers on the outside.
Yeah, like more shit keeps getting thrown at it.
WTF.
There's one
Well, because
angle.
I think they want to make it energy efficient, so there's lots of glass layers. And I think the blinds go in between the 2 layers of glass. That's what I think they should.
That just sounds like a nightmare to clean.
Yeah, well, you'll get perspiration and in between the glass layers, and it'll just look like shit.
It looks like that's what they've done in this building, actually.
Well, it's going to look like...
No, they got a quadruple glazed glass.
In here.
Yeah.
With blinds in one of the quadruple glazes.
Oh, did they?
That's
Fools.
what it looked like to me.
So the Perth, what is it? The Perth Entertainment
Perth
Centre?
Arena.
Perth Arena. It looks like the biggest turd of shit. It looks like
A
designed
turd
by
has done a
committee.
shit.
I think it could be cool if they hadn't got the fluoro blue stuff going on.
I think it could.
That's all going to go. The fluoro blue is going to stay.
Yeah. That is the dodgy
There's
stuff.
one view that looks good when you're driving down. Oh, what street is it? You're driving straight towards it, but there's one component that I like, which is that sort of 4x4 square white thing that's on its side.
Hmm.
It looks like a big diamond.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's going to light up.
Oh, will it?
I think
that
so, yeah.
thing is cool. And
Yeah.
from a certain angle where you can't see the rest of the Perth Arena, and you can just see that spire as you're driving down the street towards it, it looks really good.
That's
The
what they
whole
should have.
rest
They
of the
should have
thing.
made the bits that are going to be blue the same stuff as that little spire, because it's like if you want it blue, then make it a light so we can turn it off. You can't turn off this fluoro blue thing that's going to look dated before it's even finished.
It looks crap already. And what's with that piping shit that they've got on it? Like that piping design thing.
Is that might go away? I don't know.
Oh,
No?
I don't know. It's bad.
Oh, I
It's
got to say,
not good.
I kind of like the piping.
Well, I'm glad someone's
Don't mean to
enjoying
be
it.
controversial.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Stripped back cars.
Yep.
I guess we're going to Fangin news.
Yeah, I guess. Should we segue into car news?
Oh well, listen. Okay, have you guys read the Hulk Hogan article yet?
No one wants to read about Hulk Hogan, James. I think it's time
Harry,
we
you would
strike
love
it
this
off the
article.
Google log.
Hulk Hogan last week? Because that
No, because no one's read
every
it.
week.
Only
we
me and
bring it
Campbell
up
have read
every
it.
week.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious
You've had like
article
a
about
month
Hulk
to read it.
Hogan.
I can't get the show notes, so it's going to have to pass.
Oh, this will just be the thing we never talk about. Every week we talk about not talking about. All right, we'll put it off till next week.
It's
Hulk
a new
Hogan.
segment.
Not talk about.
I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan.
All right. So
The irony is that Harry would love this story if you
it's
actually
just about
read it.
the funniest story I've
Save
ever
it to Instagram on your iPad and read
Oh,
it.
I looked at it and there was just so many words. I was like,
Oh, they're all
that's going
funny
to take
ones.
me
though.
ages.
David Attenborough is coming to Perth.
Yep, I bought tickets today.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Do you get VIP because you're a museum?
No.
Why
I
the hell
wish.
not?
Where is it going to be held?
Convention Center.
What's
Didn't
he
they
gonna-
sell out
what's he
in like
gonna
30
do?
seconds?
They have sold out. Yep.
What does he do?
He just talks. I don't know. He could just sit there and I could look at him and I'd be happy. I don't care.
Fair enough.
If he does anything, it's just a bonus to me. Yes, we did pay a lot for tickets. They went on sale this morning, and I went to buy them at about 9 o'clock in the morning, and the only ones were left were like Premier and A-class tickets.
So you bought them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Once in a lifetime, man.
This is
I'm
like the
pretty
massive attack of the...
Yeah, of
The natural history
the
of
natural history world. I mean, who's bigger? No one.
No one's
Morgan Freeman.
No. Oh,
that
Morgan
Scottish guy with
Freeman.
his plants.
Who? Peter Cundall. Cundall.
Peter Cundall, he's not Scottish.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Tasmanian.
Yeah, he lives in Tasmania, but he's Scottish,
He's
isn't he?
arrested.
No,
wasn't he?
maybe.
No, there's a whole bunch of like presenters vying to be the new David Attenborough.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you know he's going to die soon and retire.
Yeah.
But this guy's doing one on plans. It's quite interesting. But they
Peter Cundall.
Not Peter bloody Cundall.
I thought you said it was.
Oh,
no,
how to-
it's some other guy.
How to Grow a Planet.
Yeah, that one. Do you approve Harry as a botanist?
Oh, I never watched it. I already know how to grow a planet.
That's why I don't like Brian Cox.
So we're sending you to Mars.
I already know how to make a universe.
Boo. But All right. So I guess we could segue into car news.
No, well, suit of armor hoodie.
Suit of armor hoodie.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
it's
already
just-
past car news. I'm on to suit of armor hoodie. It looks
No,
awesome.
we're going to segue into my car news so we can talk about car news all together.
Okay. Suit of armor hoodie. There's a cool guy who had an Etsy store making hoodies that have like sort of components sewn onto them that make it look like a suit of armor when you pull the hood on and it's got a mask. But if you pulled the hood down, it would just look like a pretty cool hoodie with extra bits.
Yeah, but when are you going to actually use that? When are you going to wear the hood?
So it's a big no for Fred.
No, well, I've been trying.
Yeah,
I want to
you're
get
riding a
into
horse.
hoodies, right? Because I've been,
Doesn't offer
last year I
any
dug up my
protection.
2001 high school union hoodie and I wore it the whole year. I was like, man, I miss hoodies.
Hoodies are totally in.
But I can't wear them anymore. And
Why not?
I need a replacement. And the moment I'm thinking of getting an Eagles one.
Why
but
can't
I'm
you
like,
wear a hoodie?
Why can't you wear a hoodie? I've
Because
got one
I
right
don't want to
now.
get some cheesy, Think Geek one
What about one that
that's
looks
got
like a
some
suit of
cheesy
armor?
saying. Well, exactly, but he's sold out. He sold out so much he has to close his Etsy stores. He's had too much demand. You can't make them fast enough.
You just
Doesn't
get a
that
plain
suck?
hoodie.
Huh?
You just get a plain hoodie.
No, I want to get a nice one, Fred, that means something to
Campbell
me.
has a nice one.
I got that hoodie in Amsterdam.
Is that a
Not
real
quite
hoodie with a real
It's
hood?
a three-quarter
Actually,
hood
it's in Salzburg.
or half hood. Oh no, it's a full hood.
Well, and the hands connect up through the pockets.
It almost looks like a suit of armor.
No.
wow.
Are we showing off hoodies?
Fred's with me
Fred's
with
also
hoodie.
got a hoodie. Hoodies are totally in.
Fur line.
Where'd you get
faux
these
fur line.
hoodies? Where'd you get that one? Ken?
I got mine. I think it was on Brands Exclusive or something. You know, one of
.com?
those. Yeah.
Website.
Internet shopper.
Yeah.
What about
Liz
you, Fred?
pointed them out.
I bought mine in Salzburg from
Wait.
H&M though,
in England.
in Austria.
So they just have
But it's
hoodie
not-
shops in England that are dedicated.
No, they just sell winter clothes 'cause it's fucking freezing.
What brand is it?
It is Perspective Apparel.
Perspective Apparel. I got 3 hoodies from them because I quite liked them. Yeah. And they were cheap.
Hoodies are a bit of a fad though.
That's a lot of hoodies. They're
Nobody was
pretty
wearing
long running
hoodies
fad.
before. No.
No, they've been going for a while.
Yeah, but men's fashion fads come in and out over maybe 5 years, whereas women's fashion is every season.
There's fast fashion and slow fashion.
There's men's fashion and women's fashion. So
Think
women's
about
fashion
Lady
is seasonal.
Sovereign. She's been
Men's
on about
fashion, I think,
hoodies.
is because men would wear it for 4 or 5
Yeah.
seasons. So it's a little slower.
So don't feel bad about buying a nice hoodie.
So car news.
Car news. So my sections. Toyota just recently revealed a concept car, which of course will never go into production because it's totally too awesome. And it's like a really stripped back. They said it's for like a young family, but
There's 2 seats.
I think there's like a bench seat at the back and a one central
Young
front
family,
seat
like,
or
they
something.
don't have a kid yet.
Yeah, so young, it's just a single guy. I don't quite get it. And it looks like it's got absolutely no boot space for a pram or shopping or anything like that.
It'd be perfect for me and Briny.
It would be perfect for you and Bryony because it's also
you wouldn't
super
be able
cute.
to sit at
Are you the
front
young
together.
family demographic?
There's only one seat at the front, so you have to sit. One
Yeah.
person will always
I
be
would
the
totally buy this
passenger.
car.
Let's see.
It is just a gorgeous kind of a retro
Yeah, just funny.
inspired car, kind of a bit of a Citroen 2CV vibe about it.
Total.
It's got
2CV
a
vibe.
canopy
I'll go.
that hinges out. And just stripped back, like absolutely stripped back, you know.
And it's really easy to customize the pieces, so you can get a purple door, just whack it on like a Lego piece.
Yeah, I think they had that idea like with the smart vehicles that you could change components.
It's hot.
So I think that's just gorgeous. It's like Fred said. Fred would last episode was saying, "Oh, I wish cars had bigger glass canopies and
That's too
smaller
much.
belt lines." And this, I saw this and I thought Fred's gonna love this because it's exactly what he was wanting.
that looks like a toy car. It's ugly ass. Ugh.
I was listening to Adam from Mythbusters. He's sort of started a new podcast. He's talking about how
Can I say?
it's
the man's model versus.
He's hoping that they'll start making cars out of good materials, right? At the moment, they're made of metal and they're spray painted with a paint in the slightest touch, and you write the paint off it, right? And when you can get these carbon composite materials now that really cheaply, that the colour's embedded to it, so you can whack it.
Yeah, but
as
if you
much as
crash
want.
a composite material, you can't bang a dent out of it. You have
Huh?
to buy a whole new panel.
Yeah, but it's a lot cheaper to do that than a metal panel.
That's not true.
I doubt that'd be true. A carbon fiber panel.
But would you even want
What
to?
happens when your
if you
car
can't
gets 5
see the
years
dent,
old and they don't make that panel anymore?
If you can't see the dent, then why
you can't see it, who cares?
Exactly. That's the thing, is you can see every ding in a car currently is so obvious, yet with these carbon composite things, you don't even notice the ding, so no one cares.
Yeah, but carbon... My understanding of carbon fibre is either it's fine or it catastrophically fails.
Like shatters, doesn't it?
Like basically just...
No,
blast
well,
the pieces. So, you know,
I
you
don't
get
know
a
what
ding in
material
your
he's
car
talking
and
about.
it's like,
He's
oh,
talking
good
about
thing
stuff that they're making the new Humvees out of that are bulletproof, you know?
Well, there's
Yeah,
all
well,
sorts
they're
of
all
crazy
fucking
materials, like, and great stuff. Citroen released a concept car a number of years ago that was really awesome called the Citroen Cactus.
This is yours.
And it was, Fred, you would love it. It's a really cute kind of bubbly car with a big canopy. Yep, there you go. But as a concept, it was made out of, I'm pretty sure, entirely either A, sustainable, or B, recycled materials. Yeah. So the body of the vehicle was plastic, which was made from recycled plastic components. I think the seats were sort of like a hemp fabric. There was bamboo components, like a bamboo dash, like lots of recycled bottles.
That was another person I'm talking about. This wood skyscrapers in the comments saying bamboo grows so much faster than trees. You could build, and it's a really good building material, but just no one uses it. And you could build awesome stuff out of bamboo. But
well, and with the wood skyscraper also, they're not talking about using like 2x4s. They're talking about creating a wood composite. So they're kind of like...
Yeah, but see, then they're complaining about the wood composite.
What's the glue?
Yeah, is
that's
more
the first
toxic
thing that
than-
I thought. Yeah.
I think they should just make everything out of bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, bamboo.
Or hemp.
Did you ever see that
And
bamboo
hemp.
motorbike that guy made? It's pretty cool. Yeah, so the Cactus, and it was also like an... I don't think it was an electric vehicle, but I think it had like this tiny, 0.5 litre 2-cylinder engine or something. But because the vehicle itself was so light, it was just awesome. Exactly like that. So stripped back vehicles. So like that one, I also pulled up a really cool
motorcycle?
example of a BMW 4x4, BMW Just 4.2 concept car.
2v4.
2x4. Which is just a little 2-person roadster thing, like a Lotus 7, I guess. So what do you guys think, about a market for that? Or has things like road safety kind of totally killed, like safety regulations totally killed off?
Well, would that pass
But I think
any
it's
sort
kind of like
safety
a replacement as a motorbike, right? It's going for the people who would have a motorbike, but they're scared to be just on 2 wheels. So you might have to wear a helmet
the
on
question?
it, but it's not.
Well,
It's
what do you
safer
guys
than a
think about
motorbike.
About very stripped back cars.
Yeah. I mean, just last week you were saying, you'd really like a Lotus 7, essentially.
Well, I think just last week I was saying I'd really like a motorbike that had 4 wheels and...
A canopy.
But motorbikes have quite good performance. You can go on a freeway without any trouble, keep up with traffic.
Wouldn't that have good performance?
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole
Yeah,
track
but
car
it
phenomenon?
uses the best BMW motorbike's engine in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, and I don't know what's in that Toyota engine, but if the thing's so lightweight, I'm sure it's going to be fine.
I would like light cars that go fast, not a heavy car. Light car with a reasonable engine that goes really fast, not a massive car with a massive engine. That goes really
I mean the difference, like the two vehicles the vehicle I drive at the moment is a Renault Scenic, which is a very heavy vehicle, with a kind of average engine in it. And it can go and stop and all that stuff. And it's really comfortable. The seats are really comfortable, cushy ride. But it's a heavy vehicle, and so there's this weight that you're pulling around. And the other vehicle I sometimes drive is this old Suzuki Swift, Swifty Lou, 1.3 litre 3-cylinder engine. 2 doors, manual. It just weighs absolutely nothing. No airbags. No air conditioning.
And it's low and wide.
It is so low to the ground. It's unbelievable. And I hop in this thing and it gets going and this is going to sound stupid. It feels like a sports car. I'm like, I get in that thing.
Swift.
Yeah, that's why they
like a
call it the
sports car.
Swift. Especially after the Renault. The Renault is like a much newer, much more expensive vehicle. But this Swift, the way it handles, I'm like, whoa.
Because like Mum's car, the Mazda that I drove here is tiny, but it has a minuscule engine, and it's so they've geared the first gear to be really
So it's an
low
automatic
or high.
though?
No, it's a manual.
Oh.
But the first gear is like, and then you're going 10 k's an hour, and you've hit the, you're doing 5,000 and you just switch up, and it's just horrible. It's I hate it.
I mean, the thing about, right, the reason that I would choose to drive over taking public transport or walking or riding is to shelter myself from the elements, right? And some, like this BMW vehicle, is an open vehicle, so you're still just going to
But if you ride a motorcycle, you can shelter yourself. You buy a jacket, you buy waterproof pants.
No, that takes work, and I might as well just walk somewhere.
What about the
put a raincoat
Toyota one
on.
with the hood, though? The canopy. Does that appeal?
Yeah, if that's sealed, then yeah. I would drive one of those smart cars that are just 2-seat.
I've always
as long
wanted
as
to
it's
drive a
sealed.
smart car.
Yeah, see what it was like. We were driving one around Saints Row, weren't we, Fred?
Just the two.
I always like the look of the smart.
Oh, you guys are missing out.
the
now.
Smart
We're, like,
for 4.
co-oping.
Have you guys seen those around? You don't see them very often.
Smart car for 4 people.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen that.
It's like a 4-door hatch.
I wouldn't want to go
hatchback.
smaller than the Swift.
No.
No.
What about the Lotus? You want it?
That's a sports car. That's about the size of a Swift, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know. They just look ridiculous.
What do?
Smart cars.
Oh. Yeah. Well, the Smart for 4 is like the size of a Swift.
Talking about cars that look ridiculous.
Oh, yes. Okay. Nice segue.
The Nissan Delta Wing.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Well, I spent my weekend. This is what I've been consuming, watching the Le Mans 24 Hours, the biggest sporting event in the world. 275,000 people turning up to watch a 24-hour vehicle race. So, I mean, Audi has sort of been top of the pots for at least the last 2 years, and the biggest competitor was Peugeot, and they pulled out, so everyone was sort of predicting a really boring race. But what they did allow this year in the race was hybrids for the first time. So Audi introduced 4 cars, all diesel powered, but the top 2 cars were hybrid diesels. So they were burning diesel using Audi's sort of ultra efficient diesel engines, but also having a flywheel installed so that when they braked, it stores energy, and then they could use that electrical power later in the front wheels to get extra speed boost. And those 2 cars dominated the race, and they won. The first car just dominated because it didn't even crash at all. It had one minor incident, had to get the rear wing replaced. The second car had a huge crash, but somehow managed to limp back to pit lane and get basically the whole outer body of the car replaced, and just left the thing. Well, that's the thing about Le Mans. It's crazy, is if you crash in Formula One, you're out. In Le Mans, if you have an incident that requires 15 minutes worth of repairs, you still have a chance of winning the race. It's so unpredictable in endurance racing over such a sort of long time period. But the fan favorite car was the Nissan Delta Wing, which I've linked in the show notes. Have you guys taken a look at this vehicle?
Yes, I have. Now, can you explain why it was a fan favorite?
Because it looks like the Batmobile.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's why. It looks a bit like the Batmobile.
It looks a lot like the Batmobile.
Because it's the craziest vehicle that's ever been entered seriously.
It looks like a 3-wheel vehicle, but I think it's still 4, just because the rear wheels are out wide and the 2 front wheels are really close together. I haven't done enough research to know. It's possibly hydrogen powered, but I may be wrong.
What?
No, it's a 1.6 litre turbo injected.
Okay. Well, they did have some prototype cars that were hydrogen powered this year. I thought maybe it was this one, but maybe I'm getting mistaken.
No, it's petrol.
But next year they're allowing official cars to enter the race as hydrogen powered. This is the cool thing about Le Mans. They get all these crazy prototype cars to race, and it's all about reliability and keeping a car on the road. And we were talking about last week about if we got a Lotus vehicle together, like a build your own vehicle, and we chucked in dollars to raise it. I want to enter a 24-hour race. Did you guys ever see the Top Gear race where they did the 24-hour race together?
But they had a 12 too, sure. In motorcycle news.
Are you just killing my...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, killing his news.
Sorry.
It's still newsing.
Sorry. Continue news.
You guys watch Le Mans at all? Was it on
No.
mainstream TV? I bought Foxtel to watch the soccer game in this and the Le Mans. Anyway, so the Audi hybrids ended up winning.
And what was the fate of the Delta Wing?
The fate of Delta Wing got in the middle of the night, and I didn't get to see this because I was asleep. Got rammed off the road, and this car just came and rammed it because it's such a small car. Just went smashed into a thing, and that was the end of it. The Toyotas, which were meant to, everyone was hoping to make this exciting riding race. Toyota introduced their hybrids. They're hoping to take on Audi's dominance and make an exciting race because Peugeot, for some reason, had dropped out for, I don't know, GFC reasons or whatever. I watched the first few hours of the race, then went to bed, and when I woke up, they had all crashed, and one of them in this crazy crash, which I linked to the video, I don't know if you guys watched it, but just some other car, an amateur, just nudged it and just nudged it from behind and just flicked it over and just smashed it. It was just insane. But yeah, Le Mans, it's just a crazy concept. I'm so glad that it stays popular in this day and age with people's shorter suspension spans to do it. And I it's one thing in France that I wish I could go back and do is go to a Le Mans race. Because even if you don't follow race, you go to a rave. They have raves through the night, and you're like, oh,
get on the pills and just chase
crazy
the cars down running.
No, they have like DJs.
Did you ever watch that Sylvester Stallone film about Formula One? What was it called? Drive?
Yeah. And they have that big crash.
Yeah, and they went racing their Formula One cars through the city of Paris.
I got to rewatch that now that I'm a Formula One fan. See what it's.
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Okay,
now Fred.
Oh, my motorcycle news was that a very prestigious motorcycle race, the Isle of Man TT. It's like the oldest motorcycle man race in the world. They actually have a class now for electric motorcycles, fully electric motorcycles, and they broke the averaging over 100 miles an hour limit speed, which is quite an achievement because the race started, I think it was 1901 or something like that, and it wasn't until 1956, I think, that gasoline-powered cars broke 100 miles an hour. Motorbikes broke 100 miles an hour.
So before then, they were electric?
No, they were gasoline, but they just didn't have the technology. So now electric bikes have been around for 10 years, and they've broken the 100 mile an hour average speed.
That's pretty crazy.
So they're getting competitive.
Yeah, quick.
And they seem pretty cool. And there's a motor. I may have put in the show notes for next week.
That's like one of the most dangerous sport events in the world.
Have you seen that documentary about it?
Yeah, it used to be a Formula One track, and then too many people died, so they
Did you ever see the documentary about it? There's a new one that just got made, I think, a few years ago, about a guy who I think he's just like a mechanic or something. It follows it.
The New Zealander?
I don't know, but he enters that Le Mans race, and there's all this like mental footage of like mounted camera footage of him racing. And it's just the craziest thing. It makes like the Tasmanian Tiger race or whatever just look like
I used to watch
Wimp City. Did you used to watch that?
Yeah, I went past our primary school.
How is that legal? How do
They closed the roads.
Yeah, but what if one of those like ploughed jumped a fence and went into someone's house or something?
Have you ever been up to the classic car races in York?
No.
We should go and do a live hang around at the classic car weekend. They have races around York and classic cars. And they just put hay bales around the track, so if you crash, you go into hay bales, and everyone's standing behind the hay bales. And
if I still had the Corolla, we probably could enter the
But yeah, the Isle of Man TT, that's another event I'd love to go see. There's not many things that, as a tourist, I like to see, but Le Mans and Isle of TT. Isle of Man TT?
What about that Monaco?
I'm not that fussed about Monaco.
Why do we always call it Monaco? Monaco?
Yeah. Okay, final thing.
Oh god, it's 10:20.
Yeah, I know. Also, Le Mans Martin Brundle, the commentator, was there competing with his son.
So you'd like to do a 24-hour race, would you?
If we did that thing where we chipped in to buy a car, I would only interest in 24-hour races.
Do they have him in Perth?
I also think I have an idea for a Fangin' Around event, right, as publicity for the Fangin' Around podcast.
We just fang around?
Yeah. Okay, so we have one car in Dawesville, right, with
what's Dawesville?
At least two of us and maybe two passengers, like down Mandurah, Dawesville Cup.
Yep, I know Mandurah.
And two cars up in Two Rocks, right? And right at the start of the day, and we're racing down to those
Doing the speed limit though.
speed limit, right? And opposite directions to see who's gets it, and we time it to see who's doing the who's at
What are we
Building up high. He's building up
basically,
high.
so they're going opposite direction. Who gets the opposite end first?
Oh, so if you've got a train at one station and a train at the other, and they're both travelling at 110 degrees.
no. So two cars with at least two
Shouldn't
of
they-
us in
shouldn't
it,
they
and we
meet-
can get some.
Meet somewhere? So it's not just like drive past each other.
No,
Hey,
'cause we have
I'm
to
in
wait
2
for
hours. I'm in Dawesville now. All right.
Yeah.
See you in 2 hours.
No, yeah, and then we have to go. We have to do a live podcast with someone at each stop, like a rally. Like, so we have to find someone public to ask them a question, and then the audio boo gets geotagged at the location so that we know we've been there, and we have one person in the vehicle who's judging us, and we see who gets there first. It's like a live rally across the lengths of Perth, which is meant to be one of the longest cities in the world.
Yeah.
Interesting idea. But
I think we should meet
we
someone,
make
yeah.
rules so that you can't just jump on the freeway. You have to go to Armidale or somewhere on the way and stuff like that.
Dawesville, Armidale, 2 Rocks.
Could do it a
All
little bit
places I
more
wanna go.
extremes of Perth. Okay, last question. Who's the hottie then? Ginny from I Dream of Ginny or Samantha from Bewitched?
And Agent 99 was on the list. And she got
Yeah,
cut.
but I cut that for her. You also said Tabitha, and I was like, that's inappropriate. She was a child.
No, I didn't know what she was called. That's why I put a question mark.
Okay.
Are we
That was-
allowed
so
to
that's
look
just-
at them?
You know I'm a Dreaming Bewitched, right?
Sorry, do I know those shows?
You don't
Yeah.
know those TV shows?
Yeah, I do.
So
I'm,
it's-
I'm just wondering, can I have a look
Ah.
at them, or is it just from memory?
Oh, you've got
Harry,
a
can you-
computer or
no,
an
I want to
iPhone?
know if he's asking me, like...
So it's both the actresses and the characters, you know?
All right.
Well, I don't know the actresses. I only know the characters. Oh, isn't that
No,
the mum?
that's the mum.
You do Who's the Hottie now with Tabitha. She's probably like 40.
This is true.
That means you've already done it, doesn't it, Jane?
No, I haven't done it. We should do that. We should pick out, is there a daughter in I Dream of Jean?
Bewitched by a country mile.
Samantha.
Elizabeth Montgomery? She is not with us anymore. That's why we can't do Who's the Hottie now.
I
Has
think
she upgraded to
can
online?
do. We can do a Who's the Hottie now with Tabitha from Bewitched, I think.
Yeah, but compared to who? You need to find a matchup. That's the hard thing. Oh, we got a text saying.
There's the fan complaining about. Stop chewing into the microphone.
I reckon Genie.
Genie?
No.
So you got a witch and a bewitched and a genie.
Oh.
Just on superficial value. What about the character? Would you prefer a witch
Just
as
on
a wife
superficial value.
or a slave genie?
No, I don't like the idea of the slave
But
thing.
the genie's really annoying. But then the
Yeah.
wife's really annoying. That's why I wanted Age. I was going to choose Agent 99 because she's neither.
Do you think Elizabeth Montgomery or Samantha is annoying?
She's constantly. The whole premise of the show is that she's stuffing things up and all this drama, and her mum comes over, and you know, the guy's just trying to earn a living.
Isn't he an astronaut?
No, he's the
that's
Don Draper.
Genie.
He's the
Genie's-
Don Draper.
Oh,
the
he's
astronaut. I
advertising.
was thinking, can we should do a crossover with
Don
Bewitched
Draper.
husband and Don Draper?
They should do an episode where they cameo her character in it. Mad Men.
Who is your favourite bewitched husband? The first dick or the second dick?
Fuck, I'm not that big of a witch. The first or second dick, Bewitched.
Cam, it's
he's
one of those things like toilet
There's the
paper.
character's Darren
Everyone has an
Stevens.
opinion on who
And there was
they like.
two actors played him, both named Dick.
I don't know. Obviously, you've got it. You've thought about this.
I like the original. I think I'd prefer a wife witch, even though I think a slave genie would be pretty hot. But I think Elizabeth Montgomery was the hottest.
Why are you emphasizing the slave part? Is she a slave genie?
Yeah,
he's his
she's-
master. But
yeah,
she's
he's his
always
master,
messing
yeah.
things up.
Why doesn't he get rid of
She's
the
not
genie?
slave in a bad way. She chooses he would
I
let her
don't,
go
I
anytime,
don't dig
I
that
think.
slave kind of.
He marries
dynamic.
her, doesn't she?
Yeah. It doesn't roll with me.
No, but she chooses to. It's like a girl coming out and saying, "I'm going to be your slave, Harry,"
yeah.
and you're like, "I don't want it," but it's just like, "Too bad, I am."
But that's what things were like back then, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was like a fantasy kind of thing.
Was it like back then?
Yeah. When was it? 60s.
Yes.
Well, I guess it was
Mid-60s to
railing
mid-70s,
against
yeah.
railing against the kind of free love and there's good conservative values of having a wife that worshipped you and did everything.
Did everything you wanted.
But she didn't. She was fighting. She was trying to be independent.
Was she?
I don't know.
Did she ask all the ladies who were
Bewitched,
independent?
the
to throw
Bewitched
their
girl,
hands up in
Samantha
the air?
was trying to be independent and like a regular woman.
I don't watch that much of it. She's just always messing around. And he's an astronaut. That's about all I know on that show.
Yeah, you just know that from the animated, don't you? That's all I can think of. The two shows both had
And
animated.
apparently she was
openings.
the first bad midriff on TV.
Really?
She does dress provocatively sometimes.
But they had to hide her belly. But the condition from the FCC in America was that she had to, the bottoms had to be up above her belly button. You couldn't show your belly
I
button
thought
on
that was
TV.
just the style.
No, she wasn't allowed to show a belly button on TV.
Belly buttons are so rude.
I Love Lucy was the first television program.
Well, I mean,
to
what's the
feature
difference between a
pregnancy
belly
and
button
character.
and a
Apparently
nipple?
Star
really?
Trek, Kirk kissing the alien was the first interracial kiss on
Yes,
television.
I've heard about that too.
First interracial kiss.
Yeah,
Alien
on
versus
television.
human. But
But
Oh,
Alien
all
was
the
a
races.
black actress, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Alien was a black actress.
well, she was like
No,
green.
she wasn't an alien.
She?
She was just a black woman.
Yeah, Rusty was on Reddit. I could have been. I saw this like today. I learned.
What's her name? Osfura?
No,
I thought he
it
kissed
wasn't
an
her.
alien.
No,
He banged
kissed
an alien.
Yeah, he kissed an alien, but I think the actress was black.
Oh, is that what the point was?
Oh.
I thought it was that it's like bizarre.
No, I don't think.
No, but I thought that was the point. They're pointing out how bizarre it was that the first interracial kiss was actually between a man and an alien, not between a black person and a white person. Or Asian.
You might have to tune in next week to find out.
Nichelle Nichols. Born Gracedale Nichols.
Too many facts.
Focus
Who played
on the kissy
Osfura?
one.
Is that her name?
I don't know who played her.
Most famous role as the communications officer, Lieutenant aboard
Oh, it's
USS
her.
Enterprise in the popular Star Trek television series. Blah, 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 blah.
Did she make out
And they
with Kirk?
kissed on TV.
Star Trek NASA work? She worked for NASA.
Whoa, really?
After the cancellation of Star Trek, Nichols volunteered her time in a special project with NASA to recruit minority and female personnel for the space agency, which proved to be successful.
Yeah, good on her.
In her role as Lieutenant Yura, Nichols famously kissed white actor William Shatner as Captain James T. Kirk.
Apparently, Kirk kissed an Asian actress, France Nguyen, in a previous episode.
Kirk
All right.
kissed everyone.
But she was playing an alien, though, right? But
No, she was
Allura
Asian.
was.
The episode is popularly cited as the first example of interracial kiss in the United States.
But at the time, were they counting white Asian kisses as interracial?
Okay, so it gets tricky when, even though the kiss was portrayed as having been forced by alien telekinesis, so it wasn't a consensual kiss.
It was a rape kiss.
It was a rape
Feminist
kiss.
issues. We can't have rape.
Oh,
Full circle.
yeah,
Back on
nice work. Well, let's tackle that subject next week.
In our feminist corner, a new segment.
Yeah,
on
can
Fangin'
someone else
Around.
take over the film?
Famous rapes. We not have
You guys can add it to the show notes.
No.
We need to talk about more feminist issues. We need to bring it to the forefront.
Yeah.
None of us know anything about feminist issues.
Fred, you're
Fred,
up next.
you don't know
Fred,
anything.
you're in charge
You
of
got to
feminist corner
learn
next
about
week.
feminist issues.
I'll find some feminist issues.
Yeah.
What I
Yeah.
believe to be
Educate
feminist
yourself in them.
Learn it. See what the feminist. Do an examination of the feminist issues in Saints Row the Third.
issues. We'll have to deal with my own
Because you get to
feminist issues playing
kill
as a
all
woman.
these hot women just as equally as the men in this game, which is weird. You don't kill that many women in Saints Row.
Well, there's a
in
big controversy
GTA,
with
if
the new
anything.
Hitman film, Hitman game. The trailer for that. Anyway,
We could talk
Fred
about
next
that.
week's going to bring feminist frequency news.
There's only
Yeah.
that test that I know about, the whatever dating test. I'll talk about that next week.
Were you guys in the chat? We had a fan in the chat the whole time and I missed it. I'm sorry. He's very pro Bainesy. He's all about your smooth transitions, all about the iPod Nano. Loves it that you were in Saints Row, Fred. Con Air beats Waterworld any day. Reclassification of Pluto as a planet was totally lame. What if the planet is a space monster?
It's just indeed wizard.
Buzz Aldrin is coming to WA. Whoa! And he
this
provides a
person?
link. He's listed himself as listener. James needs to make a Fred avatar.
Man, this is Fred's #1 fan. This guy's like this person.
Game of Thrones hoodies. They're linking to it. Disco hoodie. Shatner kissed lots of aliens, apparently.
Who is this person?
Message us back in the chat if you're listening now. But yeah.
Talk about
Fred, where can we find you on the internet?
You can't.
Okay.
Don't try.
Harry?
Yeah, I'm not on
Harry
internet.
_ on Twitter.
No, I don't do internet.
You can find me, Campbell, at campbellwhite.com, among other places. And then you can find me on Twitter and
It's Campbell White.
Etsy and all sorts of Flickr and Tumblr and
You do
Instagram. Yeah, I do Tumblr. I do it all, baby.
Yeah. You find me, James, as the guy called Tom. All one word, all over the internet. Just Google that. You've been listening to the Fang Around podcast. You can find us at fangaround.com. We have a listener mail segment where you can not only email us at mailbag@fangaround.com, but you can send us an audio question via Audio Boo. Just follow Fangin' Around on Audio Boo and send it in. And Fred says we'll play anything, no matter what,
Yep.
no matter how offensive it is. So send it in.
But if
whenever
you send
want.
something offensive, we might call you names.
We'll call you out if you be offensive.
Yeah, if
be
you're not
prepared.
being- yeah.
Whatever, face the consequences of whatever you
That's
send
right.
in will be
It's
dealt
not
with
just
by
like
us. You know.
we're going to be... Yeah. We'll play it, but we won't
Yeah.
like it.
We'll catch you next week. Okay.
On the flip side...
So you walk around without a phone, Harry?
Without connection to the internet.
No. It would be at least a phone that people can say.
Hey,
Brian can say, "Hey,
I'm walking here.
I'm stuck in some dodgy suburb going,
In case there's some Tomb Raider style adventures going on. Sorry.
That's what it's known as now, Tomb Raider.
Can we edit that out?